Hey, welcome to A-Aron Reacts. I'm a jazz musician and salsa dancer, so I feel music in every way. Chords, melody, lyrics, rhythm, and visuals, and every reaction is an experience. Today will be no different. Welcome, angels, back for another Angelina Jordan reaction, and we're back to the early years of age 10. And this comes by way of a big shout out and thank you to Jim Rowe for buying me 10 coffees in exchange for a number of earlier years. And I think it's important to, take the time, as he said, and go back to the analysis of her progression through the years. Always peace and love. There's still some fantastic stuff from ages 10, 11, and 12, and 13 you haven't touched on yet. So here we are back for age 10. And this is You Raise Me Up. This is in Seoul, Korea on June 1st, 2016. Now, this is in front of an audience of 40,000 people, I understand, and it's for a children's vaccination concert, or vaccination charity. And while I have an audience and people, I feel it's obligatory, and I want to spend a quick sec and mention, guys, when it comes to things like vaccine, trust science. Don't trust politics. Don't trust idiocracy and people just making up shit. Trust science. Measles was eradicated in the US in 2000. It's back because idiots listening to idiots. I'm just going to keep it simple as that. Trust science, right? Do your own research. Anyway, back to, look, I've got a voice and a platform, so I want to make sure that I share my perspective. In any case, so this is a very young Angelina, and of course in front of a very large audience. So I expect to be blown away, as I always am. So let's get right to it. Beautiful, beautiful song. I love this song. It's a big song. Beautiful electric violin.
When I am down and all my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart burneth weak, then I feel still and wait in the silence until you come and sit with me.
Okay, so I think it's a good place to pause it. So first things first, obviously not the best audio quality with this one, and we'll deal with it. It's a bit hard to hear. The mic seems like it's clipping, and it's, the balance is awkward. So it is what it is, right? We're lucky to have these recordings, period, right? So something to keep in mind. She, as always, sounds completely incredible in her lower range, and she does here, no exception. We hear a little bit of her upper range, and it sounds like it's not quite supported well here for me. It does sound like she's struggling a little bit, and that makes complete and total sense. This is the age where she begins expanding that range, right? And so, it's all experimental at this point, so I wouldn't expect it to be a solid. Remember, her upper register, or at least what I'm calling her upper register here, is an expansion, right? She has a lower register, as many of you have told me. Other vocal coaches, well, not other, I'm not a vocal coach, but vocal coaches have called her a contralto, which means her range is very low to begin with. So her going onto the upper stuff is an extension of her range. She's expanding her range here. And so it doesn't feel as supported. It doesn't feel as clean when she gets up there. But the other thing I wanted to mention with that is look at the amount of focus and calm she has in front of this audience of 40,000. I mean, that's absurd, right? I once spoke in front of 26,000 people, and I kid you not, I could physically feel the rumble of the audience at my feet. Like, it's absurd. And I was an adult. And I was beyond nervous every millisecond of that. There's not an ounce of nerve in her here. She looks completely comfortable. She's at home, especially when she's doing something charitable, right? And you can look at just not only the calmness, but the sincerity and genuineness that she knows she's there making a difference for a good cause here. Let's give it up for that. I mean, come on, let's stop and take a moment, because I've talked a lot about this lately, and also in recent podcasts, which you guys will see soon. I talked about, I don't want to give it away, but just, her heart and part of who she is, right? It's always special, right? Regardless of the quality of the recording or her performance, it's always so far above and beyond what anybody could possibly do, especially at this age and especially with that kind of audience. I mean, come on. Oh, duet. Well, I assume they'll sing together. Oh, the audio quality is terrible. Is that another singer? Instrumentals are beautiful. He sounded good too, but it was hard to hear. Oh yeah, there is. Wow. Oh, and he sounds brilliant. That is tough. Between those two powerhouse, super strong operatic sounds to be placed in there, it's actually unfair to her, because there's no way she's able to produce sounds that nobody should be able to produce at that age, but she's just such a little girl, right? And she's got these powerhouse sounds next to her, so it's actually completely and totally, utterly unfair to be in the middle of that. Only she could pull that off, though. I mean, really, only she could. She's not creating the same power as them. She sounds brilliant. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. Just such a touching performance. To more than I can be. So she struggled a tiny bit with pitch at the very end there, but my goodness. My goodness. I mean, just history, right? Like that's a monument as it relates to, you know, Angelina Jordan's timeline in history, right? To be able to participate in something like that. I mean, really, you know, I obviously, and I'm sure you've all said this, and it's just, it is what it is. We have the recording, so that already is a major, major plus. Would have loved to have better audio, of course. But given that, my gosh, the gentleman on the left, what a powerhouse. I mean, really, the one on the right, it was, the mic was, it was, you know, it was just hard to hear, right? Because it kept clipping and it was just, the audio levels were just too much. It was not working, right? So I didn't get the effective, you know, the caliber of musician I'm sure he is, not nearly as much as the one on the left. She sounded fantastic. She held her own, which was an impossible feat. Like, she just did the impossible. Like, you know, did she match their level of power? No. Did she hold her own? Yes. Did she make a fool of herself? Did anyone, like, let's ignore her age. Let's say that she were 20. Did anybody say, oh, that middle performer, you know, didn't keep up with him? No. She held her own, even as a little girl. And that's mightily impressive, right? Like, it's pretty much impossible, and she did it. So, you know, it wasn't a perfect performance for her. Like I said, I think she did have a little bit of pitch accuracy challenge at the end, but outside of that, just fantastic. I was really hoping they had some harmonies there, because we get so few of those with Angelina. We really do. But nevertheless, what a performance, and, you know, what a remarkable event, you know, for charity and so forth. Again, I'm not going to preach on it now, but, you know, trust science. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Please consider joining us over at a-aronreacts.com/angels. Subscribe to this channel. Consider, you know, we'll share and comment on this video. And we'll see you in the next one. Thank you much.